But I just really urge us all to break out of that like beauty mold, that lighter hair is always better, lighter hair is always more attractive. The closer we get to Barbie, the prettier we are. That's actually not true. I think the closer we get to vibrant health and youthful freshness, that's the closest we get to beauty. Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin and I run the blog called Mrs. Midwest. We're back in the living room like old times and we are going to be talking about beauty today. That is like one of my absolute favorite topics. The kids are downstairs with my husband. It is a sunny day. I've had my coffee. I'm feeling good and I'm so excited to be here with you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Today we are going to be talking about the most impactful beauty advice I could give anybody. Like the things that I think impact your look the most, the things that I would be screaming as I'm falling down over a cliff's edge, information that I think should be written down in some sort of history book. This is the most important information I think I can ever put into a video. Now, am I a makeup artist? Am I an esthetician? Am I an expert? No, I'm not even like a pageant queen. I am not an expert at beauty, but I am a person highly invested in beauty and I am a person who has experienced a glow up not once, but twice. First, like after I was shortly married. Secondly, after I had both my sons, you know, a postpartum glow up. I've had to do this. I've had to invest in my beauty. I've had to learn about beauty. I've had to figure out what works, what doesn't. Don't just think I woke up like this, because I didn't. Don't just think I was born like this, because I wasn't. I have had to learn beauty tips. I have had to, had is not true. No one has to do this stuff. I have wanted to improve my beauty. I've wanted to glow up. I've wanted to just max out my potential as a young woman. So this advice comes from a place of, hey, this really worked for me. This really improved my overall look. And since doing a lot of this stuff, you know, I've had to put my face online for thousands of people to watch and interact with. I feel confident, I feel happy, and that's why I think beauty advice videos matter. I think they matter because so many people feel stumped with their beauty. So many people never had an older sister or mom to teach them. My mom thankfully was really good at teaching me beauty tips, but a lot of us feel lost. We feel lost with our look. Maybe we really admire certain people and their looks, but we cannot figure out how to replicate it. We can't figure out how to make certain things work for ourselves, etc., etc. That is why I will never stop talking about beauty. I also, from a religious worldview, I do think beauty is important. I think it's a wonderful gift from the Lord, and I don't think we should ever feel ashamed about cultivating it, enhancing it, showcasing it. I am not a person who thinks women should tamper down their beauty, or a person who thinks women need to hide their beauty lest men look at them. I do not think that at all. I think beauty is a gift from the Lord that we should celebrate, and I'm excited that you're here today because who doesn't want more beauty tips, honestly? Okay, so I'm going to get into it. The most important beauty advice. This is not gonna cover style. I'm going to make a style video as well. Beauty only. Maybe a little bit about body, but mostly beauty. Tip number one, and I've talked about this before. I have a whole video about it. Skin care. Skin care is the foundation of your facial beauty. It is the most important thing you can be doing for yourself. If I have $50 to spend on beauty and I have to choose makeup or skincare, I will choose skincare every single time. Why? Because it is what is underneath the makeup. And some of us don't even wear a lot of makeup. So your skincare is really going to impact how lush your skin looks, how vibrant you look, how healthy you appear, etc., etc. Now, am I talking about let's get to a place where we never break out again? No, because actually this is kind of convenient. I got a pimple right there. Your girl breaks out. It's fine, it's normal. So this is not about having perfect skin, but rather caring for and doing the best we can with our skin. Now, in my skincare video, I kind of go into depth about a lot of this, but that's also a couple years old. And I've gotten older since then, so my routine has changed. I'm a mom now, so my routine has changed, and my skin is getting older also, so my routine has changed. So skincare, if anything, is even more important, especially as I edge towards my 30s. It's my birthday this weekend. I'm turning 28. But my skin has probably like been the best it ever has been. Now, why is skincare important? Sun damage is the number one thing that is going to age your skin. And it doesn't even have to just come from like long days at the beach. Fun fact, I did actually not have freckles until I got severely burned in the 3rd grade on a wonderful, thank you, Mom and Dad, vacation to Disneyland. But then the freckles came, and my skin was prone to freckle anyways. And then when I saw a dermatologist in high school, we went for a different thing, like a mole removal consultation. But I remember him fixating on my face and him like rolling over in his rolly chair and being like, "Do you wear sunscreen? How much SPF do you use?" And in high school, he told me to wear SPF every day. And at the time I was like, okay, skincare doctor. But I'm so glad I got that advice, because I feel like my skin's looking pretty good, especially for 2 pregnancies. I had some forehead wrinkles, but those have kind of disappeared because of my skincare routine. So if you're building a basic skincare routine, the best advice I can give you is to firstly double cleanse. This is like a Korean like beauty routine, is to double cleanse with like an oil cleanser and a foam cleanser. My advice is just to make sure you wash your face off once, get rid of all the makeup, get rid of all the residue, and then wash it one more time. And don't use a super harsh face wash, but face wash, double cleanse. Second part of skincare, make sure you're using some sort of astringent, a toner, a chemical peel, something to put on your pores after you wash it to kind of like tone your skin, extra clearing out those pores. When I started to become extremely faithful with toners, my skin just looked so much brighter, because I have a bit of dry skin, which will be a problem as I age because I don't have a lot of natural oil. And so I would have kind of like a dull appearance on my face, but ever since using a glycolic acid, similar kind of things to that, a chemical peel, my skin is a lot better. So you double cleanse, and then you use an astringent, and then finish it off with a thick moisturizer. And then if you really want to go the extra step, the thing that has made my skin nicer than even pre-children is slugging. I have an entire blog post about this, but it is essentially putting a layer of Aquaphor or Vaseline on your face every night after you finish your skincare routine. And I know that sounds bonkers. I felt bonkers when I did it, but now I wake up in the morning and my skin just feels like really nice, really supple. I don't wash my face every morning, maybe just like the breakout areas, but mostly I just focus on evening skincare because in the mornings I don't want to like wash my face and strip away all that moisture I've collected under the Aquaphor at night. So if you want more information on slugging, I will link my blog post below, but it is essentially putting on a protective layer, because Aquaphor and Vaseline, those aren't actually moisturizing agents. What they do is protect your skin and trap moisture in. So what that accomplishes is really just providing a protective layer over your skincare. And I feel like when you're, spending $20 like I do on like a little tiny tub of skincare, it feels really good to put Aquaphor on over top, because then you feel like I am getting the most bang for my buck out of skincare. So skincare. Sunscreen, I like a mineral-based sunscreen. I don't like chemical-based sunscreens, but those are really key, especially if you're fair like me. You want to avoid sun damage. You want to avoid sunspots. Sun also accelerates wrinkles. And so honestly, for a long time too, I didn't even wear sunscreen every day, but I would at least wear a hat every time I'd go outside. I sit in the shade. Part of that is just I don't like baking in the sun. My entire life, I have been the person under the towel at the beach or under the palm tree. I do not like the sun. But just try to keep your skin protected, because it's going to help preserve it. It's going to help it look not as dry, and you're not going to get as much sun damage. A little hack too is I always try to put moisturizer and sunscreen on my hands and on my chest. A lot of skin damage collects on these areas. So it's important to be mindful of that. But when you have like really exfoliated, nice skin, your makeup is going to set better on your skin as well. So that's why I think skincare is more important than makeup, because if you put makeup on like dry skin or like not very healthy skin, it's not going to look as good as if you kind of focus on the skincare. For example, today when I was doing my glam for this video, I tend to do more makeup when I'm doing a YouTube video just so you guys can see all my features when I'm public speaking. But I had to exfoliate, and it just made the foundation set so much nicer on my skin. I look brighter. It's just better. So number one, as I'm falling down the cliff, giving you beauty advice as my last words, skincare. That's number one. Number two, I feel strongly about this. A haircut will not solve styling issues. Let me explain. A lot of people struggle with their hair. I used to be one of those people. I still sometimes do. You can see I'm like losing volume as we speak. But hair. Sometimes people don't like their hair. Like they have just like a drab kind of, haircut. And they ask, hey, what kind of hair color, what kind of haircut should I get for my face? Like what would make this look better, essentially? And the problem is people will go and they will get that haircut, and then they will still just either wash and air dry their hair or wash and blow dry and go without styling, without putting in a mousse, without putting in like a protective, sleek thing, without gelling, without hairspraying, without curling, without doing anything. And then they don't like their hair because it's still drab or blah or whatever. When the issue is not actually a haircut is not going to solve your issues if you're not styling your hair. So something that is really, 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 really important, especially I can only really speak from my perspective as someone with fine hair. You can see each strand is like really, really delicate. I have a lot of it, but it's delicate, and so it tends to lose volume. So I put mousse in after my shower. So now when I go like this, it stays. You can see because I style my hair. I didn't style the ends. Well, I wanted more of a sleek look, a smooth look. But when I'm talking about styling, it's like today I took the time to do my bangs and then hairspray them. I took the time to hairspray so I would have less postpartum flyaways for you guys to stare at. And curling the ends, that can always add like a polished, look to your hair. And I'm gonna make a whole feminine hair kind of video soon. But the key that I think a lot of people miss is that a haircut doesn't just give you a certain look. Oftentimes haircuts that we really, really like or we're drawn to, or they get repinned on Pinterest all the time, it's not just that that girl has a certain haircut and that means her hair just lays like that. It's often that there's like, yes, there's a haircut, but then there's styling done over top. So my best advice for this is to learn how to style your specific hair type. Learn your hair type. If I used to have this problem where I really wanted long hair, so I would follow long hair content creators and their advice wouldn't work, and my hair was breaking off because I was trying to wash it once a week, and it made no sense until I realized, oh, this woman is actually Latina, or she's from Honduras or whatever, and her hair type is different than mine, my weak blonde hair, and her advice isn't going to work. So my best tip for hairstyling is to follow and learn information from people with the same kind of hair as you, and then you also like what they do to their hair, because I promise you, if you go home and you work on your hair and you follow their advice, you're probably going to get a more similar outcome than if you follow someone with like a completely different hair type to you. For example, I have to wash my hair every other day. Otherwise it won't grow. It just breaks off because it gets brittle and it needs conditioning, and the oil, packs on the strands, and it's just this whole disaster. But does a woman with curly hair, like maybe a 3A or 3B, need to wash her hair every other day? No. Or even someone with thicker strands? No. And that's why you can't just follow someone you admire. As much as it pains me to say, you can't just follow the advice from someone you admire, you think they're pretty. You also have to factor in the similarities and differences of both your hair types. So style your hair, follow somebody who has similar hair that you can recreate. That's kind of how I figured out this haircut. I love this haircut. I found some girls online last fall who had similar hair to me. They had bangs, and I was like, you know what? That's really flattering, because I got, a lot of like volume loss at my forehead, and I want to disguise that. So I started doing this haircut, and it looks really nice. But that's just like a little real world example. So my best advice too is just, if you can run a curling iron through the bottom of your hair once in a while, do it. If you have hair like mine, put a mousse in for volume. But just go that extra mile for your hair, and then you might find yourself putting your hair in like a messy bun less often, or a claw clip. I guess the claw clip is like the new messy bun, which is very polished for, you know, ladies. But if you kind of want to wear your hair down more, or you want to like look more polished, style your hair. Don't just go into the hair salon and expect that poor hairdresser to cut your hair in a way that every day you wake up it's going to look amazing. That's honestly not the case for most people. All right, my third beauty advice. A healthy weight, working on your health, being active is the best plastic surgery you could ever give yourself. Now, that sounds crazy, probably really dramatic, but it's advice that I heard and it absolutely rings true. Now, in my postpartum video, my recent one, I kind of go over how I got back down to a healthy weight. You know, we're not talking about becoming model thin, blah, blah, blah. But what I am saying is, if you're kind of unhappy with yourself in clothes, you're unhappy all the time, you're feeling like tired, exhausted, blah, 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 your skin is like struggling, sometimes working on our diet and fitness and getting strong again can be invigorating, not just to like fit into a smaller pair of jeans, but to have brighter skin, to have more energy, to feel more confident, to have like, yeah, maybe like slender, more of a slender physique. But it is oftentimes like one of the best ways to upgrade your beauty instantly. Beauty, if we're thinking about beauty, sometimes I think people can get in their head, like if I just put makeup on and have cute clothes, then I'll feel better. But then they still struggle with their body. At least I used to be like that until I lost weight, I got into shape, and then I felt just better. I felt better, my skin was better, everything was fitting better, my muscles were stronger. And sometimes too, you don't realize, like, you know, my features kind of dissolve into my face when I gain weight, because I gain weight extremely evenly all over my body, including onto my face. And so I, you know, even like during my pregnancies, you know, you can't help weight gain. It's positive to have weight gain in pregnancies. But I was like, what is happening to my face? Like, I just look so like old and dragged down. And then I got back into shape after, you know, giving birth, and I realized, oh, there's my features. And so sometimes I think, even with like a breast reduction, for example, I was looking into breast reduction after Troy, and I was like kind of getting fixated on the concept of a breast reduction because I just felt so heavy, so weighed down. But then I decided, okay, I'm gonna just lose weight first, and then we're gonna see what's going on. And it took care of the problem for me, if you know what I mean. I went down a couple cup sizes, I feel great. And so sometimes I think it's important to consider your diet, your health, your fitness when you're looking in the mirror and you're wondering what you can do. The problem with this advice, though, is it's extremely overwhelming and it's extremely sensitive, because I know a lot of people, when they think beauty, and I'm like this too, like you think fun, and I'm going to spend time in front of the mirror with a curling iron and a mascara one, and it's just this wonderful thing, and you don't want to interrupt that exciting, whimsical happiness with something as potentially emotionally disrupting as talking about what you're eating in the kitchen. So I know this is sensitive, but I think it's important to consider our health and fitness, especially as we steward our bodies, as we want to be the best versions of ourselves, and as we, you know, go about life trying to treat ourselves well and be grateful for what we've been given. And that's not to say get on the treadmill so you look better. It's just to say, if you're considering what you can do to upgrade your beauty, consider your diet, consider your fitness. Again, not to fit into a certain shape, but you might not even realize the benefits of getting healthy when it comes to even just facial beauty, or the quality of like your hair, the quality of your skin, things like that. So before we're jumping to plastic surgeries, before we're jumping to drastic measures, maybe just get a little bit healthier in the kitchen and see how it affects your look. You know, in my number one, I think it's my most popular video, which is so funny because I didn't go online to share exclusively about my glow up, but it's what the people wanted. My glow up video is my most popular video on my channel, and the number one thing that affected my glow up was losing about 10 to 15 pounds. And that's the thing, when I talk about getting into a healthy weight, yeah, I was probably like a healthy weight before my glow up, but losing that extra little, like, tiny bit of weight amplified my beauty a lot. And so I just really encourage you, don't be hard on yourself. Don't even think that I'm admonishing anybody about what they're eating or whatever, but just consider your health and fitness. If you're on the road to like a glow up, if you're wondering what more you can do, getting healthy is better than any expensive facial, expensive plastic surgery you could do. All right, my fourth piece of advice, this one's really short. It's very to the point. Lighter hair is not always more flattering. Now, I know that's rich coming from someone with natural blonde hair, but even me, even a person like me with this hair growing out of my body, even I fell prey to the concept of I must lighten my hair to be prettier. I had bleached blonde hair for a long time, and I talk in my like hair glow up video about how it broke my hair, it damaged my hair, it prevented my hair health, blah, blah, blah. But I didn't talk too much about how it was actually not flattering to my natural color season. That color washed me out in winter. It looked crazy in summer. It was not flattering. It actually aged me up a lot too, whereas I look much more youthful, okay, in my opinion, I look much more youthful and fresh with slightly darker hair. And I know it's like still very light blonde hair, but my hair is darker now. It's more flattering. I see this a lot with people. I think we have this weird concept where in order to be the most beautiful, pretty princess in the world, you have to look like Barbie. And that is not true. That is not true. Lighter hair is not always more flattering. In fact, I think darker hair, more contrast for people can honestly be a lot more youthful, a lot more fresh, a lot more gorgeous, a lot more beautiful. So this is not to say, hey, no one should dye their hair, no one should get highlights, only I can have blonde hair. No, it's just consider if you have some sort of weird hang up in your head that highlights and Malibu Barbie hair is always prettier versus the reality of what it looks like. I had to come to terms with that. I had to realize darker hair, still blonde, darker hair looks better on me. I've seen this transformation a lot with people, but it can go the other way around too. Margot Robbie looks terrible with brown hair. She's still stunning and beautiful and perfect with darker hair, but she is objectively better with blonde hair. Same with Jennifer Lawrence. So, if you're a light featured person or whatever, you can look better with lighter hair. There's also people, say blonde hair is the farthest thing from your natural color. It could still look good on you. So this isn't to say if you don't have natural blonde hair, don't lighten your hair. I actually think a caramel highlight or even a straight up blonde can look fabulous with darker skin. But just consider if maybe you're washing yourself out with your highlights, if maybe it's actually not as flattering as you think it is. So really just reevaluate your hair color, consider changing things up, try to get objective opinions from people around you, from your hairdresser, blah, blah, blah. But I just really urge us all to break out of that like beauty mold, that lighter hair is always better, lighter hair is always more attractive. The closer we get to Barbie, the prettier we are. That's actually not true. I think the closer we get to vibrant health and youthful freshness, that's the closest we get to beauty. All right, my fifth and final tip. Expertly applied makeup will always be a net positive. What does this mean? What does it mean? It means I am a believer in the power of makeup. Why? Because I am a light featured person primarily. My features dissolve into my face. It doesn't matter that I have a nice eye shape or a nice brow shape or a nice lip shape if they're blending into my skin tone and no one can see it. So that's why I love makeup for adding contrast to my face. You can see contrast with the lips, contrast with the eyes, contrast with the eyebrows. Contour too, contrast. Contour out of my nose, contrast. But we can go too far with makeup. We can be wearing a very heavy, smoky eye for a normal day at home every day, and it can look a little bit much. So I really encourage us all to know that just because anybody can pick up a mascara wand, anybody can pick up an eyeshadow palette, does not make us experts, and we should always be learning. We should always be improving our makeup technique. Obviously, this is like, we all have seasons in life where we have time to watch YouTube tutorials, but I would encourage you, if you have not watched a tutorial in a long time, like 5 to 10 years, maybe like just watch a makeup artist on YouTube or on TikTok Reels, whatever is your thing. Just kind of like watch some new beauty content. If you look at my makeup now compared to when I started my channel, my makeup is very different, very improved in my opinion, but it's just different. If you watch my Get Ready With Me's and my vlogs, the way I do it is constantly changing. And that's something a lot of like OGs will know. So what I'm saying is learn how to be an expert, not just of makeup really, but of makeup for your specific face. You have to learn what works for your face and what works for other people. I had to learn for my face a little bit stronger of everything, very flattering because I have such light features. Strong makeup of everything on someone with more contrast might be overwhelming. It might not be flattering, whatever. So you have to become an expert of your own face, and the way to do this is trial and error, trying new things, getting information, blah, blah, blah. And also just try to take the time. So learn how much time you have in the morning to do your makeup and kind of figure out what you can like feasibly do in that time. If you cannot do a full face, don't try to do a full face every single day and just slap your way through it and look kind of messy. It's better to wear less makeup that is better applied, more expertly applied, than more makeup that's just a mess on your face, because your face is guaranteed more beautiful naturally than what you'd be doing to it, like messing it up with makeup. And so I just encourage you, take the time to do things cleaner and better than to just make sure you hit all the bases of like foundation, concealer, eyeliner, eyeshadow. I'm looking at my face. What did I do? Mascara, brows. You know, if you could only have time for concealer and mascara and a lip gloss, perfect. Just do it more expertly, do it cleaner, and learn how to always, always, always improve. So that is all of my screaming from a cliff as I fall to my death. This is the last thing you guys need to know about beauty information. So thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in more beauty content, I have a ton on my channel. Like I said, I'm not an expert, but I am a person passionate about this topic. I think beauty is one of the best things women of all ages, all backgrounds, all socioeconomic statuses can do to elevate their confidence. And I just think it's a wonderful tool. Leave your most impactful beauty advice in the comments below, because I need that inspo too. Especially because I can only give advice from like my look. You know, I don't have curly hair, I don't have darker skin. Like, give your advice from your beauty perspective, because other people will benefit, because not everyone can relate to me, my look, my life, etc. So thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe, join the feminine family. We hit 200K. I think it's time for a 200K Q&A. So I will be doing a Q&A on my Instagram soon. So thank you so much to everybody who's held on through the childbearing 2 years I had. We're back enjoying YouTube. I love you all. I hope you have a wonderfully blessed and beautiful week, my lovely sisters.